We are continuing today on our journey, and our journey is, of course, exploring fundamental reality. But in this particular series, what I'm talking about is obviously navigating reality and the anatomy of experience as understood in the wisdom traditions of the world, where consciousness is the ontological primitive, where matter is a construct for the interpretation of perceptual activity in consciousness. So once we get that, and once we go beyond naive realism, then we can actually understand the mechanics of everyday experience and everyday reality. Everyday experience and everyday reality is an expression of fundamental reality, which is, of course, pure consciousness. So today what I want to do is discuss with you how to source the cosmic mind. Let me know if you like that idea. Shall we continue on this idea of how to source the cosmic mind and actually introduce intention, curiosity, focused awareness, and navigate toward the cosmic mind, eavesdrop on the cosmic mind, and use the cosmic mind or surrender to the cosmic mind to access expanded consciousness in the direction of insight, intuition, inspiration, unbounded imagination, of course, creativity, which we keep discussing, a higher vision, and ultimately transcendence and enlightenment. But I can assure you that if you start to navigate reality and source cosmic mind, you will have a creative solution for any problem whatsoever, anywhere, at any time. So I'm glad that you are enjoying this conversation. Looking at your feedback, Muaz Shama from Syria, greetings from Switzerland. So I think we should explore today this idea, sourcing cosmic mind. So in this framework that we are discussing, cosmic mind. Hello, Ramanan Dikshit. Good to have you here again. Thank you, Pranita Ramachandar from South Africa. Great to have all of you here. So, okay. In the framework that we're discussing, cosmic mind is also pure consciousness, infinite consciousness. Just reminding you, it's irreducible, it's without cause, it is fundamental, it is timeless, it doesn't have a form, that's why it's infinite, and it's a field. You can also call it the Akashic field, the Akashic record, the Akashic memory, the Akashic imagination, the Akashic creativity, the Akashic evolution, and this mind is without cause, this consciousness is without cause, and it modifies itself into species-specific minds, and in humans that goes further, because humans not only have a species-specific mind, but also have a culture-specific mind based on the fact that humans are storytellers. To be human is to have a story. And so as humans, we've told stories, mythical stories, religious stories, philosophical stories, fictional stories, soap operas, movies, scientific stories. And all these stories shape our experience of everyday reality. In the human condition is such that every experience is filtered through a cultural and species-specific mind, and our perceptions, therefore, are filtered through stories that we tell ourselves, but also filtered through the conditioned human mind. Cosmic mind is not just human mind, it is all minds of all species. And cosmic mind differentiates into species-specific minds. And therefore, cosmic mind experiences reality in innumerable forms. Cosmic mind experiences perceptual reality in almost infinite or innumerable forms, because what cosmic mind is always through a differentiated mind, a species-specific mind. So as cosmic mind experiences itself and its projections, perceptual, and the interpretations of those perceptions, which we call everyday reality, the cosmic mind does so by differentiating and expressing itself through individual minds, species-specific minds, culture-specific minds, and the stories that minds are engaged in. But at the source, there's one consciousness, which is infinite, irreducible, fundamental, without cause, and infinite and formless, but experiencing reality in innumerable forms through the differentiated minds. Go back to the source, and theoretically, you have access to all minds. Theoretically. But let's see where our tradition of yoga and deep understanding of reality through the wisdom traditions of Kashmir Shaivism, Buddhism, Vedanta, where they're taking us. So today what we're going to do is navigate this territory through the Ajna Chakra, the center of consciousnness known as the Ajna Chakra. It's the third eye between your eyebrows. Okay, so the yantra for this is called the Ajna Chakra. The color is indigo, kind of purplish, and it's located here. The yantra, as I said, is the Ajna Chakra. The Bij mantra is Om. Everybody's familiar with Om. That's the Bij mantra. And the Gyanendra, the subtle senses, now are going beyond the other Gyanendras. Remember, the other Gyanendras were things like hearing, sensing, touching, tasting, smelling, seeing. Those are the perceptual activities that give us the experience of what we call the physical body and the physical world. But there are subtle senses that go beyond these five senses. So just like you have the gross sense of hearing, which you're using right now to listen to me. You're listening, you're paying attention to sound. But you could close your eyes and turn me on mute and then hear the sound of my voice just by having the intention. Or you could hear your favorite song, or hear the voice of your significant other silently in the mind. So that subtle sense of hearing is called a tanmatra. Tanmatra, a metric of subtlety in hearing. And the same way there are tanmatras for seeing. So you can close your eyes and imagine a beautiful sunset, or a starlit sky, or snowy mountains, or a volcano, or anything, Grand Canyon. You can just close your eyes. If you've had that experience, you can actualize that experience as subtle seeing in consciousness. So consciousness modifies itself into seeing, subtle. That's a tanmatra. Consciousness can modify itself into hearing. That's a tanmatra. And now we're talking about subtle senses, not the gross senses. So similarly, if I ask you, imagine with your eyes closed or open, doesn't matter, that you're tasting a strawberry and you experience the taste, or you're tasting a lemon, and not only do you experience the taste, you have salivary secretion as well. So you can experience any of the five senses, sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell, as subtle senses, which means modifications of consciousness as those experiences, sound, touch, sight, taste, smell, in consciousness, seeing with the mind's eye. Okay, so seeing with the mind's eye obviously is more subtle and therefore more powerful than seeing with the physical eyes. And when I say eyes, I mean all perceptions. So experiencing through physical form, physical apparatus, because our body, actually, our biological organism, the whole biological organism, is actually a mode of knowing. And this mode of knowing is through sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell. But this mode of knowing can be subtle, where you don't use your perceptual apparatus at all. You use your mind, your consciousness, to have experiences with the mind's eye. Hearing, touching, tasting, smelling. Try it right now. Try eating chocolate ice cream with the mind's eye. All the five senses. Okay, taste it, smell it, lick it, hear the sound as you swallow it, hear the sound. Okay, feel the texture, and you're now using subtle senses to eat chocolate ice cream, or to eat a strawberry, or you can use subtle senses to listen to Beethoven's Fifth, if you've heard it before and if you like it. So you see, the subtle senses are actually more powerful. They precede anything that we do in the physical world. Our subtle body precedes the activity of our physical body, and the subtle body in turn is a manifestation of the causal body, what spiritual traditions call soul or jiva, which is imprinted with sanskaras, vasanas, and past experiences that we call karma. And so all our experiences are filtered through the conditioned mind, even subtle experiences. So with this chakra, the Ajna Chakra, the chakra, the tattva, that which is known, the modality of knowing, the tattva, is not through the physical senses, but through the subtle senses. So the Jnanendriyas are the subtle senses. I hope that's clear by now. I hope that this is clear by now. That subtle experience in the subtle body is much more powerful than perceptual experience through the physical body. But the subtle body in turn is a modification of the causal body, the jiva, with its karma, memories, desires, which is a conditioning of Atman, the soul, which is a direct connection, or directly inseparable from Brahman, the cosmic soul, cosmic mind. That's what we want to source. And when we source that, then we have the attributes of cosmic mind influencing individual mind. And so what are the attributes? I've already mentioned, but here are some more. Infinite possibilities, infinite correlation, infinite synchronicity, infinite unpredictability, infinite creativity, infinite power of attention, intention, infinite never-ending journey of evolution. Think infinite and apply it to anything. Infinite love, infinite compassion, infinite joy, infinite empathy. Now remember that each of these infinite tendencies also has their extreme opposite. Okay, so one tendency is divine, the other tendency is diabolical. One tendency is the so-called saint, the other tendency is the so-called sinner. One tendency is the sacred, the other tendency is the profane. One is divine, the other we could say devil. Devil is divine, feeling ill, not connected with, actually the divine is always connected with what it expresses, but if the fragmented mind is not connected to the divine mind, then the tendency goes in the direction of the profane and not the sacred. But it's all good because everybody is still evolving, recycling, and evolving. Doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum of awareness, extremely contracted or infinitely expanded. We're all on the same journey from here to here. Because the journey is not a journey in space and time, the journey is a shifting state of being. And that's what we're doing by opening up these centers of awareness, all these centers of awareness. And today, the center of awareness is the third eye chakra. The tattva is beyond the 5 elements. The bij mantra is Om. The Gyanendra is the subtle senses, which I've explained, the tanmatras. And the associations, the themes, the motifs of the tattva are referred to as sattva buddhi, intuitive consciousness, eavesdropping on the cosmic mind. And therefore, psychic center, this you could call it, if you want, the psychic center. The center of knowingness, the center that can access past, present, and future, the center of inner guidance, the center of discerning awareness, the center of conscious choice making, and the center that is also connected to the endocrine gland called the pituitary gland, which is the master endocrine gland, controls all the endocrine glands in the body, and also the pineal gland, which is involved in the sleep-wake dream cycles and secretes melatonin, which also happens to be an immunomodulator. So once again, Tantra is the ritual, the technique. Yantra is the instrument for channeling the entanglement of creative intelligence, and mantra is the divine quality of sound awareness that accesses. All these are anchors: mantra, yantra, tantra, anchors. Here's the key. The key is the ability to go to the still source, which is between every thought, between every breath, between every image, between every sensation, between every thought, in that still source, all possibilities, infinite, the entangled space of all experiences in all species and all cultures and all individuals. The entangled space is between space-time events that we call sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. So the key is to transcend there and introduce what we call sankalpa, subtle intention, and also curiosity, questions, and also surrender. So when we combine focused awareness, which is called dharana, meditation, dhyan, samadhi, transcendence, subtle intention, sankalpa, curiosity, self-reflection, self-inquiry, and then we leave it, surrender to the wisdom of the unknown, then there is, in that process of meditation, there is the proliferation of uncertainty and unpredictability, which is what you want for synchronicity, the proliferation of uncertainty, ambiguity, unpredictability. And then that chaotic, ambiguous, paradoxical, contradictory impulses of intelligence, you navigate through them, go past the secret passages, the dark alleys, and the ghost-filled attics of the constricted mind, and suddenly, voila, the light of your being, infinite consciousness. Now you can source the cosmic mind. Okay, so why don't we give it a little try? Would you like that right now? So sit comfortably wherever you are. Let your body-mind be engulfed in the infinite Akashic field, the Chit Akash, which engulfs all bodies, all minds, all experiences. Settle into the stillness. Bring your awareness into the third eye. Evoke the color indigo or purple, little wheel here, and take a few deep breaths. And the mantra, Om, Om. Attention, indigo, Jnanendras. Now we introduce subtle senses. So you can introduce any subtle sense. Have the intention of hearing, or tasting, or smelling, or touching, or feeling, or thinking, or imagining. Anything you want. And then just introduce subtle intention. Let's do it right now. Sankalpa, the subtle intentions. Intuition, truth, understanding, discernment, choice, eavesdrop on the cosmic mind. The cosmic mind is not a linear mind, synchronistic mind, contextual, relational, holistic, doesn't have a win-lose orientation. You're now eavesdropping on the mind of the youth. Once again, be still. Bring your awareness here. Take a few deep breaths. Envision the color, purple, something like that. And sound. Om. This is the center for what we call inner light. The light of being, the light of awareness that can access the entanglement of all sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, perceptions, and go beyond that into that field of infinite possibilities where we drop an intention, sankalpa, like a pebble in a still pond. Let it go. It ripples across the ocean of consciousness, the ocean of cosmic consciousness, self-organizes it into its own fulfillment. Now, if you've ever come to any of our courses, particularly the Seduction of Spirit, you will see that we go into deep exploration of what we call the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the chapter on siddhis and riddhis. Siddhis are supernormal powers, but they are dormant potentials in every one of us. Dormant potentials for non-local perception and non-local abilities. Looking into the future, knowing the past, accessing other lifetimes, extrasensory perception, remote viewing, remote healing, remote listening, remote seeing, remote tasting, smelling, and remote entanglement are all possible if we go through the Ajna Chakra into cosmic consciousness and source the cosmic mind. Attention, intention, curiosity, intention, and love, and surrender. That's all we need. So I'm very happy that we can continue this conversation, and tomorrow we'll go even deeper, and we'll keep going because there's nowhere to go. We are already there. The journey is a journey without distance. It's not struggling to learn, but simply surrendering to memory. The memory is in the Akashic field. Individual memory, collective memory, memory of the whole cosmos, and the experiences of ancient beings as they navigate reality through the filtered mind. So I hope this was useful. So just let me know if this was useful, and I shall continue. Okay, I shall continue. Hope Ava says, lost you. Well, actually, in a non-local universe, you can never get lost because wherever you are, there you go. You are present wherever you happen to be. So no need to be lost. Oh yeah, so we can say the Bij mantra is okay. What's the mudra? What's the mudra for this? The mudra, different mudras, but right now, actually think of mudra that represents the yantra, Shri yantra. So the mudra would be, even mentally, a picture of Om. Okay. A picture. Actually, that would be like a yantra. Mudra, open hands. Just total open hands. In openness. I'm just looking at your feedback, and it seems everyone relates to this. So we shall continue tomorrow. Take care, my friends.